My god, I can't really do this here. So that was my 5 hard-hitting contemporary recommendations. So that was my 5 contemporary fudge. So today we're going to talk about my 5 hard-hitting contemporary recommendations. Because I have no idea what else to do. And I have to post every week. So without further ado, let's get right on it. Before I talk and ramble and talk about things that are irrelevant to this channel. The first one on my list is Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. This book is a treasure. It's gold. It's not silver, it's gold. This book follows a female main character named Frances, who is like the most smartest person in their school, who studies very hard and gets these high grades, and she devotes almost all her time just by studying. But then she has like this, she fangirls with this podcast called University, and she crosses paths with the creator of University, Aled. Well, they become friends, best friends. You just realize in this book how you can grow with friendship in regards to your perspectives in life, and it was just beautiful. It's beautiful. This book just made me laugh out loud and made me cry. And I was actually reading this book instead of reviewing for a chemistry exam, so yeah, I couldn't put it down. So before I continue this recommendation video, a shout out to Veronica Agustin for helping me find the copy of Radio Silence, because it took me a couple of years finding this book. So thank you so much for helping me out. Peace. I consider this to be hard-hitting because it tackles with abuse, child abuse, and also the discovery of real-life scenarios with students, like the society tells you to do this, to do that, become this, and you'll get happy and get money and stuff like that. But this book actually teaches you that that path is not for everyone. It doesn't have to be for everyone. It is not for everyone. And it's not the only path that there is. Instead of the right path, I think it's incorrect. And yeah, this bad boy up. The next hard-hitting contemporary on my list is How to Make Friends with the Dark by Kathleen Glasgow. This is the second Kathleen Glasgow book that I've read, and this one just hits my heart so much. This is a book about grief, about Tiger, who deals with the loss of her mother at a very early age, around her teenage years. This book has also taught me that when you are feeling down or feeling a very deep sense of pain, many people seem to give you advice to feel something else, to push it away and ignore it and just be strong. This book states that sometimes feelings are demanded to be felt, that you need to feel something, you need to feel the certain emotion in order to understand how to continue your life with that emotion in your heart. And this book displayed that topic very well, very honest, very raw, very realistic. And I couldn't recommend this book more. And there were a few amazing quotes in this book that I just had to highlight because they were just things that I wanted to go back to and read this book again. Yes. The next book on the list is Still Life with Tornado by A.S. King. A.S. King is known to write books which are already hard-hitting, but with a touch of some magical aspect or magical realism. This book has that as well, both hard-hitting and magical realism. And I thought that her way of portraying abuse, sadness and pain, and acceptance in general by using magical things was genius. How I saw magical realism in this book were like metaphors brought to life. Metaphors that were actually happening, that metaphors that were actually visible by the naked eye. Yeah. This book is actually about a girl who suddenly one day couldn't draw anymore. She's actually an artist in her family, I guess. And she just stopped. In the very beginning of the book, you have no idea what that has to do with the whole story. But then, as you continue reading, these younger and older versions of this female character start appearing into her life. And they start telling her hints of what she was supposed to do, what is happening to her life, and how silenced she has been about these topics. And so these younger and older versions of a female character spark the ideas and the realizations of what has to be dealt with. This book was just very captivating, very out of the ordinary, and something you cannot easily forget. Even though there's this magical aspect to it, the way the family goes through certain circumstances was very realistic, and it's hard. Also not an easy read at all. So, the fourth book in my list is my all-time favorite book. I know it's very exaggerated or too soon to say because I've just read I just started reading a wide variety of books. This book hit straight to home for me. And hands down, and that's Every Last Word by Tamara Ireland Stone. I have no idea how many times I praised this book with my friends, with social media, with myself, with anybody ever. Or in YouTube, what has it been? This book is about a girl named Samantha who is in a group of popular girls in their school. But she's always felt that she didn't belong to them, or she outgrew them, or that they didn't care about her as she thought they would. She didn't see them as her friends after all. And then she meets this girl named Caroline who brings her to this hidden room in their school called the Poet's Corner, where a bunch of misfits perform poetry or sing songs to each other, and they become a family. When Samantha engages herself with these people, and more with Caroline aside from her popular group, her life changes forever. It changes her. Samantha, by the way, also undergoes OCD. It's also a very large impact to the story. Now, this book broke me so much because that ending of the book was just... You really need to read it. You just need to read this so much. When I read this book, it changed me because I read it in a very perfect time of my high school life. It felt like I was not alone in regards to what I was experiencing myself. When I read this book, it felt like I found my own Caroline and my own Poet's Corner. And the last book in my list is Are We All Lemmings and Snowflakes by Hollyborn, one of my all-time favorite authors. This book is one of the weirdest, the funniest, and the most heartbreaking book I've ever read as well. So also the others, of course, but it's just different, just so different. This one can make you laugh so much and make you cry from the deepest parts of your heart. This book follows Olive, who goes to a camp where other kids, teenagers, young adults like her who have mental disorders, and they are sent to this camp in order to get better, to be normal. Normal. Emphasize on normal. But she learns that normal is not, there's no such thing as normal. The only thing that is plausible for any person with a disorder or not is to be kind to yourself. The hard-hitting part of this book was that you get to deal with the struggles of these characters and how they saw themselves from the society's point of view and from their own personal point of view. And it's just very nice to understand this headspace between them. And the humor is incredible. I mean, Holly Bourne, her humor is just always on point. I'm telling you. And I can't recommend this book enough that you people should really start reading Holly Bourne, because I don't see many booktubers talk about her and her books. So that was my 5 hard-hitting contemporary recommendations. I hope you found something useful with this recommendation video. Please leave down in the comments the hard-hitting contemporaries that you love, and I would be glad to read them because I love hard-hitting contemporary. My gloomy little heart needs that material all the time. So, thank you. I'm Sakina Vanessa, and I'll see you in the next video.